Well, folks, we're back one other time. We're we're back one other we're, we're back one we're back one other time for today. Just just to kind of say so we were doing the last vlog and last video, and we were going through scratching off all the lottery tickets from the entire pile of lottery tickets that we ended up getting as one of our partial Christmas gifts this year during our during our time in Utica while at grandparents' place out in around Utica out and around out and around out and around Utica out and around Utica and stuff, and how, and then you may have heard our intercom our intercom thing going off. We just had our most recent 6-month review a few weeks back, which would have been 2 days right after 35th birthday. A few weeks back earlier this earlier this month earlier this earlier this earlier this earlier this earlier this month and earlier this month for December 2019, earlier this month earlier this month earlier this earlier the earlier this month for December earlier this month for December 2019. Few weeks back and stuff. So they just had one other thing for. They just had one other thing for me to go to. They just wanted me. They just wanted. They just wanted. They just had one other thing for me to sign. They just had one other thing for me to sign from that, which we did end up getting taken care of. So the main thing here that I thought I would say is, this is probably how anyone feels right after coming back from being away for right up around a couple of days for Christmas holiday and stuff. How, yes, of course, we know it is always a challenge and stuff, at first, when you first come back from being away from being away for past couple of days, from being away for past couple of days. And for me, like I had told at least a couple, maybe even a few people that we had seen this week for Christmas 2019 this week, just recently, like just the other day, just a couple of days ago and stuff. There was kind of two sides, was kind of pleased to go to grandparents' place and just see how their place was doing overall, and then there was another side that was kind of feeling like, thank God we're just here for just 2 nights and a full day, So, so before everything that had all occurred this week for Christmas 2019, we had talked about how my mom's father had been having some issues. He is now in his mid 80s and stuff. Like, there's nothing serious that's wrong with it. Wrong with him. It's just he really can't drive anymore, and he also is kind of having issues with speech and stuff. He was also having speech issues and stuff, and so throughout our time at grandparents' place this week, there was some times when, mainly late at night, especially end of Christmas Day, after dark and stuff, we were just kind of, sitting on the couch in their family room area, which was the room where we did all of our opening up gifts that Mom and Stepdad had for us. And then we could just hear that upstairs there was lots of BSing and stuff, because it had turned out that my mom's father had kind of made a mess in their upstairs bathroom a little bit. And my mom's father is also to the point where it's easy for him to forget to do this or that, and kind of he's tended to kind of overdo things a little bit, like when we had things all set up in the family room area, like chairs and stuff, and after the get together at grandparents' place just the other day, just a couple of days ago, on Christmas Day 2019, just a couple of days ago, a couple of the chairs that we had set up in there, that normally usually during unstructured times are all usually out on their back deck, out on their back deck. He thought that it was the right time to take them and put them back. But then my mom's mom had said, had been, when she had seen when she had seen that he had attempted to take them and put them back, said, "We're not done with them yet. Why did you take them and put them back? We're not done with them quite yet, just yet." So, kind of when it comes to, like, well, I'm not really going to bother going too far into it. I'm not really going to bother going too far into it, but so, and then yesterday, before we officially got on the road and officially took off, and before we officially got on the road and officially took off and officially took off and got on the road and came back to Rochester and stuff. We did a kind of like before we go kind of type, like, brunch type thing. There was a situation where my mom's father didn't realize that he was taking things in a little too fast. And so then when it sounded like he was starting to choke on some stuff, my mom's mom had started going like, "Dude, come on, man, come on, man, come on, man, come on, man, get over in the kitchen right now," because of course, obviously, if he was to like really to the point start like, you know, mouths to start blowing up. You know what I mean by that? Like really start having lots of stuff coming out. Obviously, nobody was going to be having it with, getting chunks of food all over the place for the rest of us. The fact of the matter is we were all just kind of sitting there just, watching what exactly was going on. And so then when finally my mom's father and my mom's mom got in the kitchen, my mom's mom, was just over there, and everything continued. There was times a good bit of that. There was times of a good bit of, all having to do with my mom's father kind of not realizing that maybe he was overdoing things, or kind of, forgetting to clean stuff up, So again, there was two sides. Definitely was pleased to go to their place for Christmas 2019 and see how their place was doing overall, and then the other was like, thank God we're just here for just 2 nights and a full day. And yesterday definitely was was kind of feeling like there was two sides. It was kind of, maybe sad that it was over so fast, and then maybe kind of pleased to come back to Rochester, come back home, and be done with dealing with the being exposed to all that, mainly over my mom's father, either overdoing things, either overdoing things or forgetting to clean things up after himself, or not realizing when like taking things in a bit too fast. That wasn't exactly all. After we got back from the get together at our Aunt Sue's place later on Christmas Eve and stuff, and I was just thinking about charging my phone and tablet, and I thought that in the one guest room that they had for me, there would be somewhere to plug stuff in. In the end, the fact of the matter was, actually, the one outlet that had a free space kind of had issues, so that wasn't so much an option. So we kind of had to work with alternate outlets throughout their place to charge our phone and tablet, and we were able to do so. But it just took a little bit of negotiating and working it all out, so, but it was all good, so, but, once again, Christmas 2019 this week was definitely a pretty good success, all in all, very much, for sure, for sure. Definitely different from how we had been having Christmas the past several years. In all these years, the past several years, but it was cool. It was cool. One other thing that I also brought home was this. Maybe some of you have heard of Moose Munch, Harry and David brand Moose Munch premium popcorn, like caramel corn and stuff. This is premium. Moose Munch premium popcorn, premium popcorn, Moose Munch Butterfinger, Butterfinger popcorn made with Butterfinger bite, made with Butterfinger bites. So, yep, Moose Munch Munch Butterfinger popcorn. All right, and so, but again, now the one other thing left is going to cousin's place later on. Kind of give them all their gifts and the plate of dipped chocolate covered pretzels for that we have for them, and then they can get whatever gifts they have for us to us, and then it'll all be good. Once again, pretty much all of our snow from our latest snowfall so far for the beginning of the season is all gone for now, but it probably shall be back pretty soon, pretty shortly. Once again, started out as kind of a wet and dreary morning and stuff here in back here in Rochester. Rain came down pretty good this morning when we first got up and first looked out the window. It's definitely very well let up for right now. There could be more later. I don't think they were calling for anything out of control weather-wise today, but if you can even see, there's that birch tree that it ended up falling over from one of our kind of recent windstorms from, I think it was back in late October, or I think it was either back late October. I think it was mid or at least mid or latter half of October, I think, when we had that one windstorm that brought birch tree down and stuff. So, last thing left is just getting ready to bring in the new year. Getting ready to bring in the new year. That's all for now. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We'll talk to you later.